If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I post a new Tom Brady video every day.
What happened to Antonio Brown? Did he quit? I've never seen a guy leave a field like that. And is this the last strike for him?
He is no longer a Buc. All right, that's the end of the story. Let's talk about the guys that went out there and won the game.
I mean, you can see what's going on here on the sideline. I'm not really sure what's happening here. We have a fans video a little bit later on. You can also see that Antonio Brown looked like he was talking to Mike Evans about something, and then he decided to take his uniform off, his undershirt off, and his gloves, and just try to, like, I guess, get the fan base going.
Throwing up the peace sign, that means I'm out, right?
Yeah, and I guess I have never seen anything like this. Here's the only thing all I can tell you right here, guys. He needs help.
And here's a fan video.
Obviously needs help.
Nate, go ahead. Here's a fan video. This is Mike Evans basically telling him, I need you to keep your pads on. Don't worry about what's going on. I need you to stick in this game. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of speculation. You know, we're not going to sit here and say he's losing his mind or he's crazy. I feel like those words are very dismissive to what somebody could be going through. So we don't want to make any assumptions. What I do know is that at this point when he was so-called benched, he was 8 catches away from $333,000, 55 yards away from $333,000, 1 touchdown away from $333,000. Now, I'm not saying that is validation. I feel like regardless of what happens on the field, you have to be a professional. And if you want to address something to your team or your organization, you do that in the locker room or after the game. You don't take your pads off. You don't throw your jersey in the stands. You don't chuck the deuces up to the opposing team crowd as you walk into the locker room while the game is still going on.
Is this the last time we're going to see Antonio Brown in any NFL uniform? Because we know it's the last time he's going to be in a Tampa Bay Buccaneer uniform.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. You'd have to think that this is it. You can't go quit on a team. Of course, you can't do a number of the things that Antonio Brown has done over his career and expect to make it to another NFL team. But his talent is so immense, it's so rare that, yeah, he's been able to get other chances. This was, you would have to believe, his last chance. In fact, it was his last chance. There with Tampa Bay, the only reason he was in Tampa Bay to begin with is because Tom Brady wanted him there, had sort of created this cocoon of a nest for Antonio Brown. And then, of course, the fake vaccination card. Something that carries with it a potential federal crime. That was a 3-game suspension from the NFL, and then he was able to return to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because, frankly, the Buccaneers needed him on the football field, especially after Chris Godwin tore his ACL. But he has embarrassed the Buccaneers yet again, and so Bruce Arians says that he is no longer a Buccaneer. Now, I would caution you. You would think that would mean that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will cut Antonio Brown, and they very well may cut Antonio Brown. But if they do, he would be subject to waivers, and he would then be subject to waivers on any of the teams, including the teams that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could potentially face in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl. And so because of that, I think suspension could be on the table for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Antonio Brown. Suspend him so that he cannot sign with another team and hurt you in the postseason. So whether he certainly will never suit up for the Buccaneers again, but technically whether he is cut or if he is suspended for the rest of the year, that's a determination I think the Buccaneers will make once emotions come down a little bit and once we get to Monday.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a difficult situation. And, I think we all want him to just think everybody should find, hopefully do what they can to help him in ways that he really needs it. And, we all love him. We care about him deeply. We want to see him be at his best and, unfortunately won't be with our team, but, we have a lot of friendships that will last. And again, I think the most important thing about football are the relationships with your friends and your teammates, and they go beyond the field. And, I think everyone should be very compassionate and empathetic toward, some very difficult things that are happening.
And then to have one of your star players throw a tantrum and walk off the field, but then to still be able to gather yourself and come back and win, that says a lot about the character of the guys on this team. And it's a shame to see, this from Antonio Brown. There's so many people wondering, are they going to bring him back after he was out with the whole COVID issue? And they brought him back, played well last week, had 10 catches, 101 yards. And then you see this and you wonder, if he's waving to the crowd, running. It's almost if he's saying goodbye to the NFL, because I don't know anyone else who's going to take a chance on Antonio.
I mean, it's abundantly clear, safely to say, something's not right. He needs a lot of help. clearly.
It's sad. I mean, intervention really is needed right now.
Absolutely.
Because this guy, if you can't play for Bruce Arians, if you talk about a player's coach, he holds people accountable. Yes, he may have pulled him out of the game because he didn't like the way he was playing. That's part of being a coach. That's holding people accountable. But you know what? When it's all said and done, he's given him a second chance, a third chance. With all these things that have taken place, he's given him a chance to come out and redeem himself. Where does he think he's going to go from here? He does not put any kind of thought process into thinking about his actions.
But the fact of the matter is, if you talk about him going any place after this, that's a disservice to the young man. That intervention should have happened a long time ago.
You can go back to his time, that short time with the Patriots when he got in trouble off the field and was suspended for the entire year. Prior to that, the Raiders and all the things he did there, arriving in the hot air balloon, freezing his feet off, complaining about his helmet, basically getting himself traded out of the Raiders at the time.
That's
prior
my
to that,
point, Ryan. No, all that stuff's bad. And I'm not saying, and again, to a fan, you go, well, that's worse. Well, that's worse. But none of that stuff actually affected the team on a Sunday where in the middle of the game he's quitting on his team.
When Antonio Brown decided to remove himself from the game and go to the locker room, what is your understanding of what unfolded?
Yes, I don't know anything about that. I mean, I was out there smashing my head versus the 300-pound defenders, trying to catch passes, break tackles, so I had no time to see what happened on the sidelines. All I know, whoever was in the huddle, we just kept fighting. We just kept, trying to make yards, make plays, get first downs, and we did, and we came out with the win, and you got to play all 60 minutes.
For athletics and for a pro football team, this is worse because this actually could have cost them a win on a Sunday.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just laying out the history with Antonio Brown. Yes, I get it. It was off the field. Most of the other transgressions. Yes, this was on the field. But I think fans are well aware of who Antonio Brown is, and they were holding their nose collectively to put up with Antonio Brown, his antics off field or on the field, because of what he brings when he's between the white lines. And I think fans knew what they were getting. Bruce Arians knew what he was getting. He had to sort of explain himself out of a corner last week when he explained why he was keeping Antonio Brown. And the reality was, hey, they had no one else. And that's why Tom Brady went to bat, as JJ noted, for Antonio Brown. And I would imagine when the dust settles, Antonio Brown will find ways to blame other people. But don't misunderstand. Don't get it twisted. This is all about Antonio Brown's actions, this time on the field in the middle of a game that they were trying to win.
But there is a chance that this wasn't a meltdown or an episode. Maybe this is just a player who lost it because he's sitting back saying, you're going to bench me now when I can get $1 million if you just throw me the ball for the next couple of quarters, which is still very selfish. So I'm just saying, I know there's two sides of this, which is why we have to kind of toe the line a little bit here.
If I had told you going into today that there was going to be a football player on the sideline who takes off his helmet, shoulder pads, strips down to his skimpies and runs off the field while his team is about to attempt a 3rd and 7 conversion, you would have guessed Antonio Brown. So, I mean, it's par for the course for him.
Who's the one that advocated strongly to bring him to the team?
Tom Brady did.
Who was it that went to the bench to try to get him?
Tom Brady did.
Exactly.
And how about Mike Evans? And how about Bruce Arians? And how about the organization, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, sticking their necks out trying to help this guy? I don't know. You know, I'm sick of talking about it. I want him to get healthy, and I want him to be healthy. Well, but I can tell you, he just left his team in a lurch, and I have never in my life ever seen anything like that.
No matter what happens, you stay out there and you do your job with your teammates.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
Never. You don't.
At any league.
I don't care how heated you get.
If it's nothing, if there's no altercation and it's just him tripping off because he's not going to reach certain goals on the receiving to get his bonus money of $1 million, then they need to put him in a straitjacket and take him straight to some hospital and get him analyzed.
Well, let's not speculate, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not happy here right now. So.
well, we'll get the rest of the show without Michael.
It is a profession. It is a job. You are going to be held accountable, but you're also getting compensated accordingly. And that sometimes you have to make a decision. And this is contract detrimental to a team, to quit on a team in the middle of a game and to do it in that manner and an away game, to sit there and get the fans riled up and to walk off a field like that. He will not even be on that plane going back. And you know what? It's production and tolerance, JB.
Yeah.
At some point, you know what? When you're tolerating more than you're getting, it isn't worth it. And also jeopardize the integrity of what you're trying to build on the team. I would say goodbye. This man needs help. And you know what? I hope he gets
And Coach,
5 seconds. Go ahead, Coach.
You know what? next man up, because who caught the game-winning touchdown?
His replacement.
Yep, Grayson Jr.
And as you point out, JJ, that is a distinction that has a difference, because if they caught him, he can go someplace else. If they suspend him, he cannot to maybe play against him. That's well said.
That's it for this video. I post a new Tom Brady video every day, so please like and subscribe. That way you'll always have a new Tom Brady video to watch every single day. Thanks for watching.